What's up? Who's the master? Who's the apprentice? What up, y'all? Hold on, I'll be in here in a second. Hold on. Rody did not say start your day with Raisin Bran. I cannot. Hold on, I'm about to sit down, y'all. I got duped this morning. Someone that put out like trash essentially. I don't want to say trash because some of this stuff ain't trash. But you know, when people put stuff at the end of the curb, whatever, it's considered trash to them. Maybe not to someone else. Well, a couple months ago, this house in my neighborhood, and I've actually never talked to this house before, so it felt even better because I wouldn't want to take someone else's stuff that I don't like. I don't want their energy for sure. But this house had a bunch of stuff, and it was pretty cool because I just started sewing, and it had tons and tons of fabric, and everything was so clean. They even folded it to put it at the curb, and I was like, what the hell? But I ended up getting a lot of stuff. I even got a Milwaukee boombox. Like, there was a vacuum shot or shock vac as well, but it's a smaller one. I have a big one, but it's a smaller one. There was a bunch of shit, so I seen they put stuff out this morning walking the dogs. And I was like, ooh, what'd they put out, you know? Most of it was trash, but they had another bin. You know, I kind of wanted the bin because it's the big ass bin, and I started like flipping clothes, and I think it would be better for the clothes than the bin that I'm using now because I have three bins, but they separate it anyways. But I ended up opening the bin because I'm like, I wonder if there's anything inside of it. Well, it had lights, and there was like Christmas lights in the box, like brand new, and there were several. Well, I got those, and I was walking the dog, so whatever I could carry, you know. So I ended up bringing them home. Turns out they don't fucking work, of course. So I was rolling the dice, so I ended up throwing them away. Um, but I found a couple other things. It's pretty cool. I was like, all right. Anyways, start your day with Raisin Bran. Rhodey is trying to get what? Sponsored by Raisin Bran. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Bama. Good morning, Rhodey. Good morning, Stefan. Yeah, I made my coffee this morning too, Bama, duh. You gave it up, Paul. Blood pressure, okay. That makes sense. Should be making you bounce off the walls and shit. Thank you, Deborah. Good morning, good morning. Oh, Oh no, we're not gonna say that. Doggies are just doggies. They're not just doggies, but psh, I'm a mama bear. I'm gonna be like your dog better than mine. Come on now. Look at Bama saying nice things in the chat. What the hell happening here? Remember, start your morning with Sesame Street. What up, James? What up, Ram? Who's the master? Who's the apprentice? Yeah, one hitter that looks like a cigarette. What up, Jesse? You changed your fucking profile again? Again? And Bama, I can't keep up with y'all. Y'all be changing it every day. Bama, what the hell is that on your profile picture this time? Looking like a chicken. Saved them chicken, boy. And of course, I see my fucking neighbor. I went back out with one of my pups because I was like, I'm gonna go back out with one of my pups to go see what else these people had this morning. And my neighbor thinks he's so fucking cool. Like, his dog was losing his shit and he was like pretending it wasn't happening. I'm like, yep, we'll just watch this happen. I'll just drop this leash. I'll just drop my leash for shits and giggles because he thinks I know he watches us stay in and out on his fucking camera, but I'm like, y'all fucked up. I can let my dogs free roam all day, every day. Like, if I wanted to, I could be like the other fucking losers in this neighborhood. And there's only a couple of them because most people's dogs don't listen to them. But there are a couple of them that just let their dogs run around freely and shit. I'm like, oh, y'all be in deep shit if I just let my boys run around freely. And honestly, you wouldn't be. You would just think that you were. They're like little bodyguards. But don't question it. They got their words, you know what I mean? I do love Raisin Bran, I'm not gonna lie. But the last time I had Raisin Bran, I won't forget. I literally bought a box of Raisin Bran. This was years ago. Hopefully Rody ain't in here. Actually, Rody should be in here because you gonna try to sponsor them. I ended up buying a box of Raisin Brans. Ew, it was the nastiest thing, and I love Raisin Bran. It was the nastiest thing. I took that shit back to the store because I was like, y'all need to know that if all the boxes taste like this one, you need to be throwing them away. I was like, this shit is awful. Wait, what? What, Rim? A willy chicken? I cannot. Suiting to save the chickens, right? It should say save the chickens under it. Yeah, it probably would be intimidating, but they honestly, I think my boys don't give two shits about anybody else unless it becomes like a threat. Their intuition's very, very on point. And my Belgian just don't play. He'll bark and let you know. And the Dutchie will too, but Dutchie's a little silent. A silent one, you know? He likes to scope it out. The Belgian is just straight up, like, his bark alone is so both of their barks is intimidating. Like the Dutch, if he's barking too, you're in trouble. You in trouble, because they're both like yin and yang, but they both are mama boys, but in a different way. And I really like it because they do balance each other out. The Belgian, at one point when he was a puppy, since like he definitely was abandoned, he really latched on to me. So he was just like, everything's a threat. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. We gotta figure this out. Gotta figure this out. He had brothers though when he was a street dog, my Belgian. They both were street dogs actually. But my Belgian, he literally he was running around with like his litter. Like there was a few of them, and the person that found them, only they could get him to come up. And he had some foot thing going on. They had taken him to the vet, and he was just off an antibiotic when I got him. But he had some foot thing going on, hence to probably why he don't like his feet done. But yeah, he latched on. It was really crazy too because the chick that found him, she ended up going to like another community, and then like the person that trained my Dutch, so I got my Dutch from, ended up getting him and asked if I want to foster him. This whole thing for the people that know already, but um, she had named the Belgian already. Like she was just calling him a name, but she couldn't keep him, so she was like, all right, well, I gotta find like a solution for him. And he was still extreme puppy, so I don't know why that determined that for her. Maybe she was just trying to save an animal. Shout out to her though. But anyways, she had named him already, and she named him one of my old dog's name, which I thought was very interesting. I was like, we're not calling you that, but the trainer named him something else too, based off a girl that he was talking to. I was like, I'm not fucking calling him that. Like, I was like, absolutely not. So it was funny. One of the first meetups that we had, that he had been like, it was like a dog meetup. He had been like my dog for like a few months at that point, and they were trying to call him by the old name, and he's like, psh, he's dead to me. I ain't listening to that shit. Anyways, I just want a whole blah 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 blah. What up, mama? Oh, that's amazing, Paul. That's good. I don't know if you journal or anything, but maybe that's something to take note of. So when days have balance and stuff, like you can see that there's a balance, but there's still is good in the days. Not every day is good, but there's good in every day, you know? But you were smiling all day, that's the greatest feeling. Those are days to remind yourself of in the days that may not feel like that, you know? But I hope everyone's day, today and this week, y'all are smiling all day. You hear Sesame Street? Yeah, you don't know how Marley got like that, Bama? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's a great day to be alive. I know the sun's still shining when I close my eyes. And was it a hard time in the neighborhood? 'Cause these mother effers are crazy in this hood. What the hell? What are you talking about, James? You sound like Bama. Ew, Jesse. Oh man. And that's why I don't walk barefoot, y'all. Well, it must be like when a bird shits on you too. It must be like good luck. And yeah, Rem, I just go off to the Matrix. That's what I do. This is my day job. Are you telling me to quit it? That's hilarious. No, I like to flip stuff, Rim. So I like to actively find things to flip so I don't have to be on the hamster wheel of society, you know? There's waves to that, just like anything, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I do YouTube, sell stuff, do arts and crafts, have a little craft community. There's a mix of stuff. I also have like a a place that I can drop arts off to sell too. So I do like a lot of different things. So when people ask me that, it's always kind of funny to me because I'm like, it depends on the day. Because I'm always trying to come up with ideas to make money so I don't have to like literally be on the hamster wheel to making someone else's dream come true, you know? Yeah, Jesse's over there scrubbing his toes. Make sure you get your toenails, man. No, that's okay, Rem. I know people wonder all the time because they're like, how the heck are you here all the time? But, I mean, most of the time that people are living, especially like I have been living, you're on a climb on YouTube, you know, like you have a mission to some level, but everyone does YouTube for different reasons. But I'm definitely trying to get monetized. Most definitely trying to have this as my other creative outlet, but I never tell myself it's a job because it won't feel like I'll want to show up, you know? Oh, so you took your shoes off? Maybe it's like a mud walk, you know, but not mud. Yeah, I heard you coming in here, Bama, because I could hear the squeaking. It's like, you hear them boots? Barefoot Jesse. Bear poo Jesse. Barefoot poo Jesse. Yeah, I do a lot of things. I've actually been trying to get with my best friend's mom to do estate sales. I have to show you a an art piece that she gave me from Icarus. I love it so much, but she got it from an estate sale, and she's like, I couldn't not get it for you. It was like screaming your name. But she is like a little sale like queen. But she's done a lot of different things too. Like she actually inspires me too as well because she had like a little antique store at one point. If I'm manifesting real quick, I would love to do some kind of business adventure with her. I think it would be fun. She has an eye for things, but I do all kinds of things. I started last month during my birthday going to auctions. I haven't gone back to the auctions yet because I don't want to become a hoarder. So I haven't gone back. I'm like trying to like get rid of the stuff that I got, and I've gotten rid of most of it, so that's good. Um, but I don't know, anything that doesn't make me feel like I'm like literally suffering for society, then I'm down. It has its good and its bad days. And when I started this adventure full time, because when I worked full time, like worked a 9 to 5, so to speak, I still did this on the side. And then I was like, I can do this full time. And of course, the universe was like, well, let's teach you some things. So I've had to learn a lot along the way. But it makes me like switch it up where I can like, I've sold crazy stuff like that. It's like people will buy so much stuff. It's insane. So there's like a market for everything. But then at the same time, you have to like kind of research a little bit here and there of what to sell because you don't want to become a hoarder. But I have like an organized system going on. And as well, I don't say I'm a dog trainer, but I'll pick up a dog here and there to train. But I actively go around saying I'm a dog trainer. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna get a building. Good morning, James. What up, the other James? I'm not gonna do a storage room or a storage unit, so to speak, yet because I'm the type of person out of sight, out of mind, and I don't want to be doing all that because then that screams hoarder nation. But you know, the auctions is kind of like Storage Wars, like that show. It's literally how it is, and a lot of those people have been going for like decades. Like, kid you not. So they were all sizing me up when I did the auction. I was like, y'all are looking for like, I don't want to say trash, but it's a different selling like method than what I'm trying to achieve. So it was interesting. They learned pretty quick. I'm not there to step on their toes, and actually I'm down to learn some knowledge from people that have been doing it for so long. And a lot of them I already knew from the flea market because I buy stuff from them. Like I have some people at the flea market that are like my favorites. Um, so it's cool, and I ended up helping them out. Like one of the ladies, she bought at the auction last, like she bought like massive bins, like they were crazy, and she's tiny but she's mighty. Like she's 100% like swole, like underneath, like she doesn't look like she would be, and I kind of like resonate with that. But I saw her pushing bins, and I went and helped her push all her bins to her truck, and she already loved me. I could tell that she loved me because we've known each other from the flea market, but it like signed and sealed a friendship entirely. But I saw her at the flea market last weekend, and she's like, hey baby, hey. I was like, hey. There's another lady too, she's like a little hot commodity in the auction. She dresses how she feels and stuff, and it's funny because there's a lot of dudes there, and there is a good amount of women too, but it's interesting the personalities that come there. Like, I don't know, like the one lady, she dresses like with style and stuff. Like, she literally, we ended up just clicking. We were talking in line and stuff, and one person was like talking to her and said something like, they were in front of me and we were waiting to pay for our stuff, and she was like, oh, the guy's like, oh yeah, I work for the devil. And she was like, I don't know about all that. And I was like, me neither. I was like, that's some weird shit. I was like, I don't know about all that. And it's like literally signed and sealed our friendship. And we started laughing. But I seen her at the flea market too. And you could tell as soon as it eliminated the fear of having competition, because a lot of those people are like, what are you selling? Like, are you going to try to step on my toes? And some of them are crafty. Like, if you act like you have any interest in a bin, they flock to that like no tomorrow, and they literally want to try to outbid you. Like the patio furniture I got, like I got hooked up, but I was like, I'm only going to spend $100 on all this. I'm not spending more. Like I wanted to spend obviously less. The goal is always less, but you have to have like a tap out amount, you know? And one of the chicks was trying to drive it up, and she tried to take my stool too. There's crazy stuff that be going down, but these people are eating, you know, with this. Like they're literally surviving doing these things. So it shows me a lot. Like I was saying to one of the people that work there, I was like, I can't imagine what it's like their homes are probably like, because I see them at the flea market. Some of these people I see at the flea market. Oh, hold on a second. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I see some of these people at the flea market, and they literally take the stuff from the bins and they just throw it on the ground. And I've thought about selling at the flea market, but I'm not doing it in the summer. It's just not worth it. But I think I would do really well because I would be organized. And sometimes, especially in the heat, people aren't trying to dig through the trash. They want to see things lined up, ready to go. Yeah, prayers for Jesse's toes this morning, y'all. That's amazing, James. 18K. Wow. Look at you. Everybody better be getting autographs. I just don't know about pricing with the estate sales. I know it can probably vary. I don't know if you make like offers and stuff to the person there. I really don't know how it works. So that's why I want to get with my friend's mom, because she's like a estate sale queen. Thanks, Paul. That's so sweet. I just gravitate towards people too. Like I feel things in my intuition of like where I'm supposed to be in certain conversations and energies, and I also I know that there's always something to be learned from somebody else. You know, no one's better than anyone else or below anyone else. So I put that in my pocket a lot, and I move through with the divine and my angels, and I like feel gravitated to have conversations with people. How I act on YouTube is no different than how I am in person. My dad used to talk to strangers like it was like a country thing. You talk to everybody, you know. So that kind of like always ran with me, and as I say in the channel is to be mindful of others' experiences because we're all just living this life experience trying to survive, you know, whatever that defines. What were the noises? I heard a weird noise too. I had to go check on it. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, Jesse, don't knock on it. Some people be like, oh, you must be poor. And I'm like, well, I guess. I mean, what's your, you define what you view life, you know? It is very, very telling. Some of those people at the flea market be looking like they don't got much and they be doing real good. That's where people are judging people as well. Oh, you're in a good mood today, Bama? That's good. Let me catch up. I just rambled a lot. Give me a second. Oh, by the time I get to the end of this message, Bama, you gonna be in a good mood still. Yeah, hopefully y'all didn't smell the dog poo. Dang, Jesse, you be washing your toes off? You just sprayed it with water. Did you use soap or just water? Stay tuned. I cannot. I'm still working on it, Paul, but I do like to be a light in the world. The world's got a lot of darkness, and I've been dark too, so I prefer to be more of a light than dark. But, you know, in darkness, you can see the stars and the moon, so I feel like you can learn a lot in all places, but we've all been in both places, you know? Oh, I love this country saying. This is a perfect time to say it. It's like, you smelling what I'm stepping in? Are you smelling what Jesse's stepping in? It's like you picking up when I'm laying down. You smelling what Jesse's stepping in? Is that a joke, Rim? I was like, oh my gosh, did they smell like poo? This isn't the first time we've talked about dog poo in here. And me and Maddie had a whole conversation about how he had to wait to fish out something in his dog's poop. So this ain't my first rodeo in here, y'all. That's so sweet, Paul. I was crazy growing up. I wouldn't say I changed too much. I think we've all changed. We all evolve and we all change, you know, and we choose how we want to do that. But I was friends with like everybody growing up. I hung out with like really everybody. I was always very, very kind, you know, too kind. Got a little jaded in life, and I don't always have the most perfect days by far. But you found us now, Paul. That's what matters, you know? Maybe we all knew each other. I always think we may have known each other from a past life, and that's why we're reconnecting, all of us, you know? Oh, so you make bids and offer. I figured it was something like that, but I wasn't sure. So what, James? You see me in person? You don't give me a piggyback ride? I actually would not prefer a piggyback ride. Being a tall woman, I don't trust nobody carrying me. Do not try to pick me up. Like, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. I'm not like when girls are like, wee, and I'm like, no, leave me on the fucking ground. I'm like, nope. Hurt your back because I'm swole. Yeah, yeah, dish soap. Prepare for the moment. Well, that's so nice of you, Rim. We already are the circus. Have you not heard us say this around here? We're like, welcome to the circus. We got fun and games. I told James to make an AI video of all of us in the circus. Oh, look, Bama, look, that's a trigger word for you. Do you think your neighbor or you? What up, Okie? You should got jokes then. I don't care how tall you are. I don't care. Even if you're in the Guinness record of being the strongest man, don't pick me up. Do not pick me up. Those are things that I'm weird about. I'm like, nope, ain't for me. I've been dropped before when I was a teenager. This is probably what did it in because I'm like, why did that change for me? Like, I never really was like looking to be picked up. I was always bigger than everyone, especially in school. But when I was like 16, this boy tried to pick me up, and I was like by one of those like walls that have, it was like, I don't know what the wall's called, but it has all the little textures on it. It's like a rough ass wall, like it's super super rough, like, but I ended up getting dropped because the idiot saw a moth, and the moth was like bigger than his head. It was like crazy. Like, I'll never forget that moth. I ended up seeing a moth a few years ago that reminded me of that moth because I haven't seen one since that big. I got pictures of it. I have to show it sometime, but I literally remember he got scared and dropped me, and I don't know how this happened. I want to say he was trying to give me a piggyback ride, but he ended up dropping me, and I went sliding down the wall. Like, it was like the craziest thing, and I had like a scar on my back for like the most ridiculous amount of time. Like, I was like, yeah, no, that's a no for me, like, ever again. Like, I probably will like punch before someone was actively able to do that again. Like, that's a no. That's a no for me, y'all. Count me out. The circus one would be funny, James. No pressure though. I ain't talking to my neighbors though. That one's done for me. What up, 4K? Happy Monday. Are you off to do some tiling? How's it going, Okie? Okie, how old are you again? What's your astrology? As Jesse's like, more importantly, what I need to know. Okay, Bama, stay in that good mood, okay? Yeah, nobody picking me up. I'm staying on the ground, y'all. I need to be grounded. Y'all need to be grounded. Oh, he was 6'4" too? Oh, let me catch up. Oh, James, I was a goth. I remember I got into trouble in my freshman year. I wasn't allowed to wear my bondage pants anymore, like my trip pants. If you know, you know. But I wasn't allowed to wear my trip pants anymore. And I didn't become a prep. Remember these words? I didn't become like a prep, but I started wearing color, and everyone was so shocked. It was insane. I hung out with everyone though. There was one school I went to, there was always like either there was one school I went to and there was literally like two goths and three including me. And then there was this other school that I went to that had a whole group of them, but they were like, no offense like to them because I was a goth too, but it was a different energy. They were like blood sucking, you know. It was way different of an energy. There were a couple of them, but it was a huge group of them. I didn't hang out with none of them. I ended up hanging out with all the American Eagle Hollister people, and I was like one of those. One of these things is not like the other. But I found people interesting. Like, I don't care what the hell you wear. Like, somebody was in here the other day. I won't call them out, but they were saying I just wear regular clothes. Like, I don't even care. And I'm like, I don't either. Like, it is whatever you feel comfortable in. Like, there was like such a bad way of like making people feel less than because of what they wore too. It's crazy. If we went back to caveman times, none of that shit mattered, you know. And sometimes, I mean, I grew up in a poor household. We didn't have like much of anything, so it was brutal. Like how bad kids were based upon like what your parents had. She's gonna carry you now, though, Paul. I hope you believe that. I hope she sends you a specific sign. Ask for one if you're open to it. Juggle me? That's a no. Oh my gosh. And first off, one Dutchie's enough. Unless we're talking about the Dutch Shepherds, then I'll take another. Like a six pack? I cannot. I cannot. What kind of six pack are we talking about? I don't know, but the moth that I seen a few years ago like brought me back to that trauma moment. But I was so like, whoa to the moth, but dude was like petrified. I was like, you'll be fine. Like you just literally almost like took me out. Like what are you talking about? Literally. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember like pushing him towards the moth. I'm like, yeah. Like you should like literally like feel bad and you're scared of a freaking moth right now. It's crazy. Wait, hold on. Now I have like a different like spiritual messages about moth. Like it's different. Way different, but if I think about it, I'm like, dang. Could have been a spirit guide from the beginning. There's another moth story that I have too, like being a child. So I've always had like interesting moth experiences, which sounds silly. Oh, where I fall backwards? Yeah, no, now you're asking for too much. Oh no. Frog Leap Studios? Why does it sound like leapfrogs? Remember that? A metal version. That reminded me of what was it? The band I Set My Friends on Fire, but they did the Soldier Boy song. For some reason, I thought Bama was gonna blame it on the alcohol, and we went somewhere else with it. Yeah, I had to tell one of the neighbors last week. He's sitting there out there watching me with the birds and stuff, and I'm like, "Can I help you?" And he was just like staring at me. I'm the crazy one. I'm like, "I don't like you." I'm like, specifically you, and the other one. Like, there's a couple of them I really cannot deal with. I don't want them anywhere near my bubble. You taking a rest today? So you're off on a Monday? Okay, 4K. What you gonna do? Gemini 1975. Okay, Gemini. Oh, snap. We got the twins in here. I always say they got multiple personalities because they got the twins and then you got your own personality in there. And I'll just throw at the board I'm a cuss, so I can say it a little bit, okay? But I don't got multiple personalities. Leave me out of that one. I got my twins tamed and the bull keeps them in check, you know? 1975 though, is that I forget the number for the Smashing Pumpkins song. Yes, Ram, like you're saying the moth said that because I felt that. Now that I think back on that situation, I was like, dang, that was another moth experience. I even did a collage scrapbook for my best friend, and I finished the series. It took me forever. And I didn't get any photos or videos, which was really dumb, but I ended up finding another scrapbook, and the scrapbook I got for her was very vintage, and I ended up finding like almost the same scrapbook but slightly different. It has to be like the same it is the same company for sure, but ended up trying to make her a new one. And I think the last one, it may be in the one that I'm making still that I need to finish, the book bind separated, so I have to put it back. It's like super annoying. I haven't done much of that this year at all. Plus, it takes a lot of time. But anyways, there was a moth page in there. I want to check if it's in the current one or it was in the last one. But I have a moth page in there for her too. Yeah, Oki, Jesse's gonna need an extra nap today. He stepped in dog poo, and I'm hoping he's not marinating in it. That's crazy, 4K. You gotta get away from me with that. You better moth away, boy. I'm like, that's a no. You can pick up Bama. What did you retract? 1975. Dang, y'all. Y'all some Woodstock babies. I'm a little bit of everything now. A little bit of country, a little bit of, I wouldn't say preppy. I'm sporty. I'm like sporty spice, you know, but I'm also like a little bit of baby spice minus the blonde hair. If I'm looking at a Spice Girl perspective. But I like to say what my mom says. She's crazy, but she's like, if a man can do it, I can do it. And she'd be working power drills and shit. So, but I is like literally like almost a motto for me too. So I like to do a lot of everything, switch it up, and I just wear whatever makes me comfortable. You know, I still have a lot of black clothes, but I have a lot of colorful clothes too. I got a lot of dresses, believe it or not. I got a lot of business casual. I used to work for a company where you would have to wear like slacks and dress up and stuff. So I definitely do all kinds of different stuff. But I'm at a phase now where I'm like, I just want to be comfortable, you know, whatever I feel comfortable in, because who cares? Well, I used to go to like Plato's Closet when I was younger, and that's where I would get these like preppy clothes from. Now that I look back though, I really wish like we would do some thrifting here and there, and one of my aunts, she was like a thrifting queen, but I didn't grow up with her like that. Otherwise, I know that I would have been thrifting from the beginning, like and seeing the pure value of it, because people think of thrifting, they think of gross secondhand, which most of the time it's just people are like snobby, never even wore it, bought it impulsively. There is a lot of trash out there, but there's a lot of gold. So it's the shop smarter. I've gotten so many brand new clothes from the thrift store. Like half of my clothes now have been thrifted, but like years ago there was this thrift store that I went to and someone had just donated. They must have just donated, but they donated this line of clothes. It was like Margaret something, which I thought was funny because it's my aunt's name that thrifts. But it was like Margaret something, and the clothes were so expensive. It was insane. But I got so many of them, and they had all brand new tags, never worn, looked like they had never even been touched. So if you're willing to look, you can find some really cool stuff. And there ain't no way I'm paying $20 for a shirt nowadays. And some of these shirts being made like are made so cheaply too. So you wear it for like XYZ amount of time, and your washer tears it up, maybe your dryer, maybe you, and then you only get one shirt when you go thrifting and get like a whole wardrobe for $20. Nah, shop smarter. Oh, I was hanging out with everybody. I'm talking about everybody loved me, and I play basketball, so just imagine I'm like cool with like all the peeps. You really couldn't put me in a category. That's still like how it is nowadays. If I vibe with you, I vibe with you. Like, it has nothing to do with what you're wearing, where you look like, where you came from. It's about character for me. Ew, James, no. Oh, you got a picture? Okay, just like you didn't get a picture of the fairies now? Come on now. Oh, I got a whole hood playlist. I was gonna say PlayStation. I got a whole hood playlist, y'all. If you were to see my Spotify, it's all over the place. But I grew up in all kinds of different like walks of life. Like I've lived in different places too, where I find a value and appreciation than more than what meets the eye. Have a what rack? Oh my gosh. In high school, you were in the box. Who you asking back? Hold on, I'm catching up, y'all. I know I'm behind. I'm like, dang, it's too early for all of this, being so behind. I'm down with the chat, though. Early morning rise conversation. But I'm like, too early for me to be behind already. Let me catch up. This is way better than trolling, though. So I appreciate y'all chiming in on good conversation. And you still remember it, Paul? That's cool. I'll have to check those out. I want to say the moth. I'm like seeing it in my brain. I want to say it's orange, the one I got on my phone. And I think it's on this phone. I have to see. Oh, I'll have to check that out, Okie. Breakfast of Champions. I don't know what's going on with that one, but that one's gone. Ooh, a tornado warning. How did that end up going down? I think Smashing Pumpkins is 1979. I'm like hearing the tune in my head. Ew, I'm not eating off nobody's toes. I don't really like toes, yo. I really don't. I don't like my feet touched neither. None of that. That's a no for me. I cut my foot open as a kid, and my dad delayed taking me to the hospital, and it really did a number on me. And I just like ever since I don't do barefoot. I used to do barefoot everywhere, but ever since I don't do barefoot, and I don't want nobody touching my toes. Come on, Bama. You know I'm an old soul. I was born in the wrong time. I think I was born in the right time, but it feels like the wrong time because I'm an old soul. I'm 30-ish. Are we making it bets? Oh, what? And I almost timed out Bama. What? That's crazy talk. Wow. I better see apology in here. Thank you, Okie. How long you been coming around, Okie? And you know what time it is. I don't know if it's that morning wake up, but no, it's not. You know what time it is. Thank you. Paul, go thrifting. Go thrifting. It's hard for me to find pants too, believe it or not. Most of mine I have to roll up at the end because they're made for little shorties. No offense. PacSun used to make extra long pants back in the day, and I used to get those from them, which I loved. But yeah, pants are pretty hard for me to find that are good lengthwise till this day, which is crazy. And I'm not paying like $100 for a pair of pants. Not happening. Nah, James, I said you because we're bunnies. Especially having dark hair, I still feel like sometimes I still tap into my inner goth. Believe me, I had some crazy eyeliner and some black nails. They make the jeans like that. They either don't fit in the hips, they don't fit in the crotch, they don't fit in the legs. It's crazy. Why do I give you those vibes? I'm from the country, y'all. I knew somebody was gonna say, dang, we can't do a lot of stuff. Can't lift you up, can't touch the toes. I'm like, nah. Shout out to Polly. Polly's gonna start letting people touch his toes. And Tom too. Tom was like, yeah, I got some blisters. Tom was saying some funny stuff the other day, like, yeah, you wanna rub my toes after working all day, sweating. Okie, you're in South Dallas? Is that what you're saying? Or you're saying that's where I'm from? I'm bad at names, Paul. I don't know if I know the Clarks. Ew! Where did the chat go? I'm deleting that. TMI, Jesse. TMI. Like, I don't know who we were telling that to, but if you didn't hear anything I was saying, I'm not the one to be telling that to. So I'm assuming you were telling that to 4K or James or I'll make sure I'll tell Mela later what you're willing to do. You're like, it's not my cup of tea, but I'm not calling you old, James, but I'm just I'm timeless, you know. I was gonna say ageless. I'm like timeless, you know. I'm getting wiser. Don't ever call me older. Come on now. When people ask my age, I'm gonna be like timeless. Yeah, Bama was getting timeouts yesterday morning, y'all. He thought I left, and I did leave. I put my phone in the charge, and I came back. He said some slick sheet, and I was like, what did he say? And I put him in a timeout. Oh, no. 4K calling you out, James. It actually wasn't. It actually wasn't James. Oh, man. No, he put you in a timeout. If you were hidden, you would have been able to come back. But I seen it, and I called it out, though, because I was like, oh, no, 4K is cool. But to be fair, though, I knew that you were cool, and anybody in the chat, like especially modding at that point, was seeing some trolly stuff. So you're like, you were mocking me. I was saying something about you ain't gonna get nothing with none of that, like talking about the men being nasty and stuff. And I said a couple quoted things, and I remember you quoted me, and one of the mods thought that you were like saying that to me. So I apologize about that. Accidents happen here and there, but to give leniency where it's due, a lot of things happen in here sometimes, and people be doing some off the wall stuff. And yeah, I know it was like a situation, and I feel like the chat was already traumatized from all the little danglers, you know what I mean? So I apologize. Maybe I'll keep an eye out for you, Paul. 3034. I'll keep an eye out. Like, what pants you talking about? Like slacks, or are you talking about like jeans, shorts? I mean, shorts are probably fine then, right? Because you can get shorts usually. Look at him whining over here. He's like, give me a timeout, give me a timeout. You're welcome. Ew, yeah, and I'm gonna delete that rim. Actually, it's hidden. YouTube was like, well, nah, we ain't gonna do that one. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, look at you, Oki. You got your first deleted message. Oh, I gave you a 10-second. I know it's delayed because I'm delayed, but I hope you saw it. He got a timeout the other day. He didn't even get to enjoy the timeout, y'all, because he literally was back. Like, boom. Oh, I didn't know if you were in Texas. Okay. Pizza or burgers, truth? I don't know. It'd be dependent on the day. I could do both. Can we do both or no? Ew, same. I'm not doing none of that. Keep them toes away from me, yo. Ugh. That reminded me of 90 Day Fiance. One of them was straight up going in. And I was like, oh, what in the... And I can't ever look at her the same. What up, True? Is your first time in here? Wait, excuse me? Managing? What do you mean, Okie? You talking about OF? Dang, we go from toes to OF. What is happening here, y'all? Did you leave? Did he leave before his timeout? Say no to the toe. For anybody that remembers the Amanda show, Amanda show. There was a episode on there called Moody's Point, and I think her dad, I can't really remember the details. I should probably YouTube it later. Some homework for myself. But it was Moody's Point. I think it was called Moody Point, but the dad lost his toe or something. And I remember like a toe being drawn on. That reminded me of that like immediately. Yeah, true. This is your first time in here? Oh my gosh. Those are interesting. J-Dub, who's that? Oh, they do. Okay, they come in here with the feet stuff sometimes, and I was like, "Hey, you guys want to see my toes? I ain't embarrassing my toes. Don't get it twisted. I ain't got no ugly toes now. But I'm just not. I'm not having nobody touch my toes. That just ain't happening. But I heard about some chick that literally someone paid thousands for them to have their toes in a pie. You go and pay $6 for a pie, maybe, unless you want to make your own. But are you going to eat the pie after your toes are in it? Because that's a no for me. But some of y'all may. Ain't judging, but that's a no for me. And I'm going to think twice if we got pie around each other. I'll be like, oh no, where those pies been? But it's kind of it's crazy, like thousands for you to stick your foot in a pie because paint a picture. That's so weird and gross, but thousands for that. I mean, you ain't getting nothing else. Like it ain't no OF. So I'm like, okay, interesting. Say no to the toe. Yeah, I figured you had no problem with shorts. So I was like, that's dumb. I've had like a sip of coffee. I just literally had another one. So forgive me. I was like, yeah, that was dumb. I laugh at 4K. He's like, is that why you muted me, James? I was like, oh, no, it wasn't James. I'm calling him out. But I get that 4K is like jokey. So he may say something later again that I wouldn't want him to get timed out for. So I was like, let me make this clear. Did you change your profile picture, dude? Like, I feel like that changed in the chat. Or they do the jean stuff on purpose. That's kind of why I want to pick up sewing, y'all. Stay tuned. I'll maybe start building y'all clothes. You got me. I'll make you some pants, and then it has a patch with my face on it. Just kidding. I do have a jean jacket where I've been collecting patches here and there, and I really want to put the patches on there. Like Girl Scout, I think of it like getting my Girl Scout girls. What I don't even know what I was saying. Squirrel Girl. I have no idea yet, y'all. Bear with me. But I have a vision of like reliving the Girl Scouts that I never had. Do you remember that? The lobsters? Do you remember that episode or do you remember Moody's Point? Oh, that's cool, Okie. Tom! What up? I was just talking about you. You were talking about earlier before in the other chats that you're willing to let somebody rub your toes, your work feet toes. Your ears must have been burning. Oh my God, no way, Paul. What? That's crazy talk. What on? I honestly shouldn't be. I'm like, wait, on OF on YouTube? Where is this happening? Oh my God! No, Rim. What the hell? What the heck? I try to look for it being written wrong, and it wasn't. Yeah, I've seen the wine grapes, so I know what they're doing. But girls, they want to have fun. I don't know. I don't know. This chat's telling otherwise. Oh my gosh, Tom. I forgot that I said that a second ago because I'm obviously behind the chat a little bit. So I was like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, actually, be witty with it, right? I guess people can get creative on their own. Who's Sydney? I don't know who that is. Jersey, like not like a hockey jersey though, right? Okay, I'll take notes of this, y'all, because I really am. I put away sewing because I started really living hardcore, and then I also have to do all my side stuff to make money and take care of my house and animals and all the things. But I really want to get back to sewing because I was getting real good at it. I made like a little bag and everything. I made a few bags. I tried some pillowcases. The pillowcases were like, I think so hard into things and like really want to like make something cool and different. But when I went to the clothes bin last, it's not an auction, but you go and dig through bins and they weigh out your clothes at the end. I found a lot of random things like Nightmare Before Christmas, like, and they were like bigger shirts, and then I found a Care Bear like shirt nightgown type thing, but I'm gonna make something out of it. If that makes sense because it's essentially fabric. But now that I'm like everything is literally a thread and we're all being duped paying so much money for clothes, like it's kind of crazy. Like it brought down like a whole different perspective for me. It almost the same as like rocks come from the ocean, like all the landscape rocks specifically. So it's very telling because we're all getting duped in clothes. Really though. And I already have a vinyl machine and stuff. I would prefer a different one when it comes to like printing shirts because I made like a whole construction company's line of clothes, like their shirts and their vest and like all that. I didn't make the shirts and stuff, but I made the shirts. Like I didn't sew them, but I hope you guys get what I mean with like the vinyl. Um, but it was a lot of work. I got paid well, but it was a lot of work, and I don't know. I got mixed feelings about my vinyl machine, so I preferred an actual press. But I always have ideas brewing, y'all. Like brewing about random things. I've thought about 3D printing too. Ew, Tom. See, I knew you were here for it. That's why he came in. He was like, I wonder if the toe freaks are out. Yeah, you were like, girls want to have fun. I was like, I don't know. Let me looking like the boys. That's why the women ain't coming in here, y'all. They're like, oh, heck no. They out there looking for the toes, girls. Stay out there. What? Tom, you're at literally 45 deleted messages. What are you doing? Why are you barking? Oh my gosh, that's insane, Paul. Is this your younger brother? I don't know if you mentioned that part. Or older brother. Either way, that's insane. I hope he still knows he has purpose regardless. That's very telling. You're jacking people up and stuff. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, I'm caught up. Hold on. That is crazy. Uh, man, I can't imagine, like, because he's probably felt, like, different even, like, his whole life, too. Are you close with him? But hey, I've seen some people that have been, like, missing some things, and they navigate like beasts. I went and volunteered at like a food bank place, and I actually loved it because you could like build like little care packages essentially for the families. I like to do family boxes because it was like cool. I can put little snacks in there. The amount of chocolate they threw away was like heartbreaking though. And I became cool with the guy, but the guy only had he had one arm, kind of, and then he had like a littler hand, But he ran the whole place, and he owned his personality, he owned his job, like he owned people looking at him, like the way he carried himself, it was like none of that was happening. And like, you're obviously like, I don't want to stare and stuff like that, but like even he was like joking with it because he's learned to live with that, and that makes me sad. But it's also like a beautiful thing that like he's working for this like corporation and like making essentially a change in the world, but he was running the whole place. And I know it probably maybe doesn't sound like much, but it didn't make him any less equipped for it. So I always hear like, seeing people living life differently and stuff. Like at my old like 9 to 5, I would hear crazy stories. Like I met this guy one time on the phone that he like stopped walking. Like he didn't grow up that way, but it ended up being like a medical condition. And he's like, I pretty much like hated life for several years. And then he realized it was the best thing that happened for him. And he ended up like going and like being an advocate for people that were experiencing the same thing, or like still able to tap in that they have like gifts, even if you feel like life is like thrown you. Or like, if you're born into something, sometimes that can be different because you have to learn to navigate. It changes perspective. Yeah, they are. What are you talking about, Tom? I'm not ignoring you. I'm not ignoring you. I wanted to touch base on that because like that's like a different story based upon than toes this morning. So I was like, let me touch base because I don't want it to seem like I didn't care that he shared that with us. Like, so I was like, let me go back. Hold on. Yeah, bins um like clothes bins, like huge bins filled with clothes to the rim. And none of them are organized, which is no fun. And you only have 2 hours to do it. And I know it seems like, well, 2 hours, but it goes by very fast. I'm like body slamming clothes and stuff, like literally lifting up clothes and clothes and clothes. And none of them are organized. You'd click on all of us and add if you could. Is that your like application to be a mod, Oki? Is that what you're doing here? Oh my gosh, Tom. Your niece? I I just does it smell, because I have birds inside and obviously the pups. That's something I wonder with the 3D. I had a 3D printer, but something was wrong with it. Never could figure it out. I had someone else look at it too, and then like I thought the other person actually figured it out and was keeping it essentially, and then they did it and was like, "Take this back," and I'm like, "Wow, you've had this for literally years." So I don't let people borrow my stuff. But in general, I ended up throwing it away. I have no idea what was wrong with it. Yeah, drugs are bad, okay? He could still be one though, Paul. I hope he still finds his place in the world, and I hope he doesn't think he's any less than, because I'm sure he's not. I'm not always miles behind. I did get caught up and then I had to go back because y'all were trash talking. I was like, wait, what? Y'all take me from like having like heartfelt conversations, trying to like understand people's story and like feelings, to toes, to F, to crazy town to Tom getting deleted messages and timeouts. Actually, I don't think Tom got a timeout. He got a deleted message. And then Jesse over here stepping in dog poop this morning, sitting here trying to solicit his toes now. It's crazy. Yeah, I hope he sees his value because there is value in everything. Like my tattoo artist the other day was like telling me how he lives in a town that's predominantly, oh, come on, is primarily white people. And I was like, well, you're there to tell them times have changed. And you're a good soul and it doesn't matter what you look like, you know? So we had this whole like conversation about like what year are we in? Like it was pretty cool, but in the sense of like everyone has a purpose and sometimes we're lost in the purpose and then it finds you or you're guided to the purpose and it's how you take care of what to do with it next, you know? Because we all look at things like, why am I this? Why am I that? But then you look at the bigger perspective and sometimes we have way more than what even meets the eye for us and we're ungrateful, you know? So definitely a humbling moment. Oh yeah, Oki, how'd you do that? Is that your application? Is that on your resume? That's awesome, Paul. I'm glad that they did. No, drugs are bad. Okay. I got Mr. Mackey in here too. I did some vinyl stuff a couple years ago with Mr. Mackey. How old's your niece, Tom? 3D printers are like very cool to me. Like, how does this happen, you know? I don't know how much they roughly run. I need to look it up. I was gonna do embroidery too. I got a sewing and embroidery machine after I got my sewing machine at the thrift store, and it was only $20, but it doesn't come with a pedal. So I've been looking for a pedal, and I found one at the flea market for literally $2. The guy was trying to tell me that the pedal in the machine he had go together and they don't. They're completely different names, but I thought it was universal where it would fit into the embroidery machine because my sewing machine is already connected to its own pedal. It's kind of hard to explain, but not. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's not going to work for the embroidery machine. Well, the guy ended up realizing, okay, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to do perm for like $1. He was trying to sell it for like $10. I ended up getting it for $2, so that worked out. But it didn't fit, and I ended up getting another piece to do a connecting, because you could use a connector to make it work. Well, whatever reason, it still didn't work with the connector, and I'm like, what the heck? So I still need a pedal. But I thought about embroidering, like making patches too. Anyways, Funky Town. I didn't start the toe thing, Ren. What are you talking about? That, to be fair, Jesse did because he literally stepped in dog poop. I personally think to that too, Tom, that a lot of people don't know their worth, which is sad, but the ones that don't know their worth sometimes are worth the most. And not to say other people aren't, but it can be very telling. What up, me? I don't know. You tell us. Curry? What are you talking about, Air? What's OWN? Tom is awesome. Just don't piss him off, okay? No, Tom will actually tell you what 67 is. That I'm gonna let Tom do that. South Park was awesome. I didn't get to watch that much of it because my dad wasn't a fan, but then I had my Nintendo 64 game of South Park, which I loved. Still don't really know how I was allowed to play that. Probably snuck it and my dad didn't really know. But I I remember this like guy was like babysitting me and my friend one time, and he was like a drunk for sure. I look back, I'm like, this guy was like plastered. And he was like watching us, and he let us watch South Park, and he literally was like pretending that he was like Mr. Hanky. It like freaked me out. So sometimes I think of that with South Park. I'm like, why are you pretending to be Mr. Hanky? But that's probably the booze. She's still young, Tom. Sometimes I'm immature too. I think I'm very mature, but I still like, I don't know, the child. I still want to like live my inner child. Because we all are still like inner children, forced to be adults and go off to the society's playground. Maybe you can guide her if that's the case. Used to what with catfish? I thought it meant something, like, but it's just like, do they know about the other number and that's why they did it? I don't really know. Okay, I'm like, we're we talking about fish now? I didn't know that was a joke. I didn't know if he was Oki was saying he is a catfish. That's weird. 4K. Okay. Oh, there's about 67 toes in here. Does that work? I thought it had a meaning. I didn't think it was a big meaning, but oh, that's cool, Oki. So you fish too? That's awesome. Now you got Tom talking, and I'm here like, what are you fishing for? No, I hadn't heard that. I agree, Jesse. Thanks for stopping in, Tom. Good last always. Thanks for bringing your toes in here. Say no to the toes and save the chickens. You noodled a lot or doodled? Yeah, Paul, because they're bad, okay? Yeah, I don't want to know. Noodling is the catfish thing, right? Or and if it's not, I don't think I want to know. Is it's like literally where you put your hand in a hole and try to get fish. That's crazy. Chicks love like what you fearing losing your arm to a catfish. Trout, what the heck? Yeah. Usually when there's a couple ages in here when people give them to me and it's sad, but I usually don't believe it and I will hide them. So I'm like, I think you're definitely the youngest mod. For sure. We're here to teach you something, young grasshopper. Okay, I am right about noodling. I just wasn't sure. I'm like, is this new slang nowadays? Like, is noodling not that noodling? And we're talking about stuff that I don't wanna. Okay, catfish with your hands. Okay, okay. I've been cow tipping. You know, when I lived out in the country, it's gonna sound really gross, y'all. And as an adult, ew. But when we lived out in the country, we would, I literally lived at my friend's house for a little while too. And they had like a cow pasture and the thing in the back, but we would invite our friends over and we would take them out to the creek and hang out in the back, whatever. But we would throw cow patties. I can't tell you how many people we cow pattied. It was like a welcome to our land moment, you know? Okay, I got the noodling. I ain't sticking no hand in the hole looking for no fish. Absolutely not. Me neither. I've seen that on TV before. That's bananas to me. That's a no. I honestly don't like catfish to begin with. They're freaking nuts. They do wild stuff. They're nasty. They pee from their freaking scales. They don't even have scales. They pee from their skin and their bottom feeders. There's a lot of no's for me in that. Um, and I also saw someone get barbed in the hand by one, and their hand blew up like a superhero. So that's a nope. You gotta have a lot of trust. Meanwhile, I've seen people literally holding catfish in their hands and like petting them. So when I deal with them, I try to have like a calm energy because they are like bats out of, so like they act squirmy, crazy, literally try to barb you, and they have a barb in their tail. Your foot? Ew. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt your love life. I cannot. Ew, with your foot? Like, how is that like, yeah, baby girl, this is what I can do? I'd be like, you need to get the heck out of that water and put some shoes on. Like, stop playing. I cannot. Okay, where did you come from? You're kind of funny. Oh, you're gonna forage? Okay, I see you. I love me a good forage. I never tipped any cows though. That wasn't my thing. I always loved them. And some of them were nuts. Like I remember one time we were trying to catch minnows in the creek with our hands. Like we just thought we were like so cool. And we were trying to catch the minnows with our hands and shit. And literally the cows came running through. Something had happened. And we literally bucked it all the way home. I didn't even like turn back. I thought they were gonna get us. I do. I do have lady mods, believe it or not. They just sprinkle themselves in because the ladies be busy, you know? No offense to the dudes. Dudes be busy too. But I do have lady mods. Like I have, let me think about how many I got. Hold on a second. I got like under 10, I want to say, and not leaving anybody out because people do sprinkle themselves in. Like I just saw one of my mods and I haven't talked to her in a while. She's got a Dutchie too, actually. Love her so much. I saw her last week come in here and I was like, "Oh my gosh." Cuz they bless me with their presence. Not that you guys don't, but it is harder to find women because women be fucking catty and shit, and they literally are just like filled with a lot of jealousy issues, like I don't know, be trying to compare and stuff, and it's not like that. But if you know me or you give me a second or two, you pretty much pick up that that's not my energy, But I'm very grateful for the ladies that I have that come in here, although they don't talk all the time. And hey, leave it. I cannot stand that noise. I hate that noise. Anyways, I definitely appreciate my ladies though, because they are harder to find for sure. But I do got ladies in here, y'all. And I actually wasn't modding for a while. I started modding again like a month ago. I haven't modded in a very, very long time. And then I had a little hiccup, as some of y'all remember. There was a lesson learned, and then I've been scoping out a couple other people. But shout out to my ladies real quick, because I honestly really appreciate y'all. Like, I've had some really good conversations, like very heartfelt moments, and appreciation, because it can be hard sometimes for the ladies in life too. Oh my gosh. I actually hadn't read the rest of your sentence yet. I had stopped at the ladies mod and I was like, oh, where did we go? Timeouts in here can be playful though, and Bama be asking for a timeout. He's like, please, please. And then sometimes I think people will be pushing it a little bit, and they're really asking for a timeout, and that's how they're asking. But it's all really jokes and funs and games. If you're in here and you're being a troll and you're being raunchy and stuff, there's no timeout. You're done. You're done. Like, you don't get a timeout. Timeout is like more playful around here than anything. Or if someone needs like a second to get out because something's popped off or something, then it may vary. But usually, I just hide people. I don't do the timeouts. Tripping, tipping. So what are you gonna do today for your day off? Glad you ate breakfast before the stream. Oh, I'm almost caught up. Ooh, contaminated. Is that for real? I'm gonna delete that for now, but are you for real? I see. I mean, I'm gonna call it how it is. Like, I'm glad I didn't say all that for nothing, I guess. But I'll definitely call it how it is. Like, people will be getting jealous. I noticed something recently too, where I was like, "Ooh, jealousy's a curse, yo." Like, noted. Because I honestly I treat everybody nicely, unless you're trying it, then you can back the f up. But in general, I treat all others how we should be treating each other. And I can tell with the ladies, like, it is like that a little bit. And that's not my first rodeo though. I mean, come on, y'all. I don't just live on YouTube. Like, I've literally experienced life. So, and I'm also a tall woman. There's a lot of factors that come in that. So that's not like a first thing for me. But I've always noticed in my life that ladies will come back in like, well, I really wish I was your friend before this, or like, I really wish that I wasn't like this, or whatever. We all do it, like, but I don't think it's good. And I try to be very, like, subconsciously aware of that and consciously aware of that, because I don't want that type of energy. Like, we're all on our own little mission. Everyone can provide something to the table, and like, we shouldn't be like, oh, I'm less than because they look like this, or I'm less than because they're funny and I'm not. Like, I just think the comparison game's wild when all of us once again have something to bring it to the table. So, but I've noticed that that's what it is. But I'm gonna find I found, like I said, like, I got like, I want to say like 10 mod ladies, somewhere in that bracket, like definitely for sure 5. And I want to say it's probably like maybe 8. I don't know. I'd have to like look at my list, because like I said, some people haven't been around in a while. And one of my first peeps though, she literally was in my first live like ever, and I had met her like, a whole another story another time, but she was my first mod and she's awesome. I have not talked to her in a long time, but like, I have not forgotten where I've started. Like, you got to remember where you come from and the climb along the way, and stay humble and appreciative. And like, I try to say this often, but without y'all, what would I be doing? You know what I mean? So that's part of my mission. And I will never forget like where I started in my journey along the way and who's been riding with me ever since, because that's hard to find in the world. And like whether this is a chat system or not, like I'd like to say that I've have some genuine friends here and pals that I spent a lot of time with, that like the conversations and the stories and the laughs are like irreplaceable, and it gives me hope and humanity almost, that there's still good out there, and crazy enough that it's an internet type of thing. But if you think about it, like at least my generation for sure, we're already like meeting people in chat rooms back in the day, AIM, like all the things, AOL and stuff. So like people have been internet chatting for years, building relationships with people and etc. And I mean, even in a human basis, people still unfortunately lie and pretend to be something they're not, and then things get exposed. But you never just become friends with someone they're a stranger first. Anyways, so it can definitely be a little bit of a climb, but I appreciate. Come here, come. I appreciate meeting the good souls that I have. It comes dime from the dozen, especially when the chat is booming and stuff. And I'm always saying, we gotta weed through the trolls to find more like-minded energy and people that we can connect with and bond with. Then there's a will, there's a way, and nothing worthwhile is easy. And we never know who we may meet here. You may meet your best friend, you may meet a partner in crime, but no crime. But you could meet someone that like changes your perspective so much that like you find more of a worth in this life. And honestly, it sounds sad to say because it is the internet, but when we are spending so much time with each other, like it's like with anything, you start to like feel the energy of people. So I always try to paint like a good light and energy into the world. Does it get sassy in here? Yes, absolutely, but I like to stay very classy with it. And I also like to remember that we are all on a human experience of a journey of the unknown, and to be mindful that even if people are cheery, peppy, talking about things all the time in here, maybe that's their escape because they got other things going on out there. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like a good portion of my peeps, we all resonate with that somewhere. We done gone all over the place from toes to hose. Just kidding. Yeah, I'm about to get out of here soon. I'll be live later. I'm charging my other phone, and I gotta check on some stuff around here. But good chat, y'all. See you later, alligator. Thanks for stopping in, Okie. Good loss. You're my pal. Are you quoting me or are you saying that? For real, I think everything happens for a reason. I mean, you and we were talking about like we got to the nitty gritty of life pretty fast with some conversations, and sometimes those things aren't easy to be said. So I definitely took a lot of value, and definitely still take a lot of value when I meet people that are willing to be like open about their life because they feel like they're not going to be judged here. Yeah, Rim? No. No. Say no to the toe. Yeah, I'm gonna be back in a little bit, y'all. Let me charge my phones and stuff. Good chat, really though. Life is really about laughter too, because that is the medicine to happiness and healing and evolving even. So I really appreciate that, even in the mix of having like serious conversations and grounding back with laughter too, because if we stay stuck in moments of sadness, how do we rewire that essentially? I appreciate y'all. more than you know, but I like to tell you guys too, without it sounding annoying, um, that I really do appreciate y'all and the gifts that you bring to the table. And I'll talk to you guys in a little while. Yeah, Aquarius really do struggle with boundaries. If we're being honest. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.